That's my question. Where are the leaders that were saying those things back then? Where are they now? Why aren't they saying, not only were we wrong, but we need to reverse this? You know, I'm going to be in a plenary session tomorrow, pro-con opioid therapy. I feel badly for the pro guy because they don't have a leg to stand on, and the only remaining question isn't, well, number one, as you said, as you implied, why haven't we turned this around? What is the problem here? This is the worst man-made epidemic in history, in modern medical history. Over 140,000 deaths. Millions of people addicted and not being adequately treated. They've lost their lives. Jane Ballantyne, a famous national pain expert, has called this the lost generation because those people may never regain their lives. You know, it doesn't take probably more than about a month or maybe less time of taking opioids around the clock to become so dependent, physically and psychologically dependent, that you might never come off of opioids again in your entire life. Just 30 days. The people that were teaching these things back then didn't understand that this wasn't just a matter of, you know, try a little opioid. What would be the problem with taking a little opioid around the clock? Well, one problem is that it didn't stay a little opioid. It stayed a lot of opioid because the doses went through the roof. And the thing is, the doses are strongly related to the morbidity and mortality. The risk of dying or having an overdose hospitalization goes up 5 to 10 fold at just 100 milligrams. In 2006, just among the state programs in Washington State, there were already 10,000 people in the state programs on over 100 milligrams around the clock. So it doesn't take a rocket scientist to see what the problem is here. Well, nothing's been done yet that would help. I mean, the deterrent proof formulations, you know, you see these things of somebody taking a hammer and you can't crush it, but a very small percent of people that use opioids around the clock for pain are abusing it that way. That's a nothing burger as far as what impact that might have. You know, if you keep taking the same amount of opioid that we're taking now, we're going to have the next generation of millions of people who become addicted. We have to step back and take a look at, well, how can you reverse this thing? And the way we think you have to reverse it is you've got to look not only at what do you do when you use opioids chronically. You monitor people, make sure they don't have high risk, make sure they're not abusers, etc. But you also shouldn't really be using opioids around the clock for routine conditions for which they don't help.